Hello everybody. So it's finally here. We have Niki's album Nicole. Well, I don't really even know where to start with this so far. I think it's definitely a departure from a lot of the stuff she's usually made in the past. There's a lot of strings all over the record, which are pretty good, honestly. Milk Teeth is a track that specifically was standing out to me, and I really wanted to talk about because honestly, I think it's one of the most beautiful songs I've heard all year. Just like production-wise, it's very unique and it's mixed very interestingly, if that's even a word. Actually, I think that as a whole, I think it's honestly a really solid record for the vision she was trying to go for, of kind of just memories of her past, kind of almost telling a story, kind of reflecting on choices she made and choices other people that she loved made. It's very real, is another thing I would like to say. It feels very real, it feels very authentic, and I feel like a lot of music these days, yeah, it's you know, it's real, it's got real topics, but I think a lot of issues is that it doesn't feel like it's genuine, like the person genuinely is expressing how they feel. Listening to this, it feels like Niki is genuinely expressing how she felt about certain moments in her life, certain things that have happened. And lyrically, I think for that it's also spectacular. Yeah, but no, Milk Teeth was a track, wow, beautiful song. Autumn was another good track right after Milk Teeth on there that gave me like almost like a Weekend vibes. There's a lot of 80s kind of feel to it, but the last two are very calming. A lot of the album is, as a whole, honestly, very calming. There's not really anything that you're like, oh, this is a banger, you know? Like, it's more indie kind of folk, oddly enough. It doesn't feel like a pop record or anything like that. It really doesn't, really not at any points. And for that, I'm also very much shocked because I didn't expect that. With the singles, I should have, because they weren't really that pop-like either. Niki's actually pressing and moving out of the usual areas that she's been making music in, which I think is spectacular. I'm glad to see that. I love it when artists do that. Sometimes it doesn't work. Not gonna point at who, but like, I think this works, you know? Again, I don't consider myself a huge fan by any means, but I really enjoyed this record. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say, honestly. I think the singles that she put out for the album are honestly the weakest tracks of the album, which is wild to say, but I honestly feel that way. Oceans and Engines is fine. It's a decent track, but it just didn't strike me. High School in Jakarta is the same kind of deal. It's like the lyrics, I guess I said, lyrically and production-wise, I think these are all great, but like the singles she put out felt very much like the generic, like mainstream kind of feel. It wasn't. They felt very like radio safe, if that makes sense. I could find myself tuning through channels and finding that song and going, yeah, okay, it's just another folk crap, and just skipping, you know what I mean? But everything else on this that weren't those couple singles there were phenomenal. As a whole, honestly, I'm really glad to see that she's really changed a lot, like as a artist, as a lyricist as well. Just really, she did an excellent job. I think it's, as a whole, it's just a really, really decent listen. It's relaxing, it's peaceful, and I couldn't ask for much more. So I'm going to be giving this a strong 5 to very light 7. Yeah, never thought I'd be giving that, but that's what I get. It's my honest opinion, you guys. I honestly think it's a decent record, and it's a decent listen. It's very much safe, most of it, as I said, like safe, like radio safe, but for the ones that aren't, those stick out a lot. And even the ones, like as I said, though, even the ones that are radio safe are still solid lyrically, solid production-wise, but I didn't love exactly that they were super, super safe. That bugs me a little bit. And some of them I honestly found almost slow at times and kind of uninteresting, because I'm not used to that type of sound from her, you know? So, I don't know. If you guys like this album, go give it a listen. I'll put a link in the description. As I said, I had a decent time with this. It's not the best album ever by any means, but it's still enjoyable. I would recommend checking it out. Go give it a listen. Go buy it even. Support her. She's good. She makes decent stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.